Hello, everybody. I'm Jacob Ferguson. I wanted to have this guest on the show tomorrow night, but his schedule is really packed right now. But I'm going to invite on Young Zealous here in a minute. Me and Young Zealous met probably, or Michael Sykes, we met in 2020, I believe, at the Black Lives Matter protests. We were both walking around evangelizing to people. And I actually ended up going to his church, and his pastor like rebaptized me. It was like a time when I was having like a coming back into the faith, but they choose to mute themselves. So we're gonna go ahead and get him in the room here in just a second. Looks like he's muted himself. If you could, I don't know if you were able to find the stream or not. I'll probably crop this down and oh, there he is. All right. Yo,
Hey,
Michael.
what up, y'all? What up, buddy?
Hey, not too much. Just got home from work.
Yeah.
So, wasting no time. We want to debate about reparations. That's why I had him on. We've had this debate before in private, but I figured we'd go ahead and do it in public. So, do you want to state your case to begin with?
My case, hope you can hear me. Let's see. My case is that anybody, anybody that supports humans, uh, like everybody deserves like restoration and a form of reparations in some way. And I believe anybody who believes in God, anybody who believes in God who restores, they would recognize reparations and shit, all over, even for themselves, So.
So, you don't feel as if America has done enough to amend the sins of slavery?
I think it's to me it's bigger than slavery. I think slavery is now looking at the totality of what's happening all across the world, from the UN to not even just the United States. I think the United States is a leader, and I think if we set the example, the UN will learn their lesson, and they will not uh, like. I'm just saying, basically, the United States have done things that have helped out. These are for the positive people, right? The positive people, the people who are not evil. But then there's people who are hiding behind closed doors to perpetuate this evil system of a form of slavery all over, even if it's not black and white. It's slavery even on their own people. So America, it's upon us to set example if we want this world not to be corrupted, because we're losing even our own country, and pretty soon the whole world. You know what I mean? In some sense, So
So how would this work? What do you believe that you're owed? And does it matter how many generations you've been in America? Like, do you have to be a descendant of slaves to receive reparations, or do you think just like every Black American should receive reparations, whether they have ancestors that are slaves or not?
yeah, I think it is interesting. So I think there should be, based off that category of being black or whatever you are. I think based off whoever is uh, who does have like the ancestry going back to like a little bit to slavery or whatever, those people should be connected to getting reparations. But I think the title of being black was a thing that was attacked. That was a thing that America has attacked for a long time. So I think they need to figure out how they can address that point, like being the title of being black or whatever is because anybody can be black and be in America. You can be from Nigeria and you come here, this and that, whatever. They'll still get treated bad and stuff like that or whatever. Or Italian that's dark, they'll get treated bad and stuff. I was researching about that stuff just
Well,
recently.
what is there a number that you would
Mm.
like to receive?
Uh, to me, in my head, I think they're studying already. There's a law already. I don't know exactly a number, but I would say it wouldn't even take. Let's put it this way: like it's I can't remember the numbers that they had because it's been a long time since I've been on the number stuff. But they do have like numbers out there that they're debating about having or whatever, and it's gonna be like installment and stuff like that or whatever to like allow them to get. It'd be enough to like get a home and a land or something like that, to where you can actually start a legacy like free from the urban community and the suffering of the urban poverty that leads to insanity. So I don't know the number, but I will say it's the number that is any number that helps the person meet to get land that they need, and also a house and stuff like that, whatever. I think that's like a good start, because that's like
the 40 acres and a mule thing.
yeah like that yeah super short yeah.
Hmm. Do you? I mean, you're married to a white woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should she have to pay reparations?
I think everybody pays in some sense. It's kind of like tithing to me, is in some sense. I think everybody like in the Bible, what I believe in, like not just what I believe in, it's what's in the Bible. Nobody had anything lacking among them because they had all things in common. And so a lot of the people, so with us, I feel like everybody will benefit in some sense because everybody's really family here in the United States. If you think about it, but you think about like like we all come from a similar root. The difference is just the exterior layer of a lot of these people and their cultures, whatever. That's the only difference. It's a game, divide and conquer. So we're all family in some sense, but the reality is that there's a reality of a game that we was born into, and so in order to like add injury to that game, to send a message of what type of game we want to play, the spirit of reparations, and also being like Jesus like and stuff like that, and repairing all that stuff, sends messages to the evil heads of this world and letting them know, hey, we're not playing that game. We have done like there's I don't know, I don't want to go on a ramble, but I'm just saying yes, like you saying like I was everywhere about it because I just like I'll preach about it instead of actually. But go ahead, yeah. I don't know if you got
here. Let me get in here a little bit. Where I think that it would be bad. I'm against reparations. And I've seen in the past probably since Black Lives Matter, I've seen people who white people who never thought about race or ethnicity or those differences that much. I've seen them be backed into a corner where the elite and the games that they're playing institutionally discriminating against white people and giving people positions. Where'd he go? Shit, I was just making my point. Where'd he go? Here we got a comment from Grayson. Oh, there he is.
Apologize, bro. It like I'll try to send the link and then it like started back over because I press enter.
Oh, I got you. Oh, well, what I was saying is I think I think that white people are starting to get resentful towards the favoritism that is being paid towards people of color and perceived minorities, where there's affirmative action in this country. There's, you're more likely to get into a prestigious school if you're like African American. There's DEI programs in place to put people that are people of color or like perceived as minority groups like gay or whatever, to get them in positions of our, like American Airlines pledged to have like 50% like Black women pilots or something ridiculous like that by the end of like 2030. So to me, if the federal government made white people pay reparations to Black people, it would deepen the divide between whites and Blacks, and I don't think that it would help the race relations in America personally.
Yeah, because like, and I see that, and I know why like that is, because like somebody feels duped out of something, they feel like they're not getting anything, they're lifting these people up, and that does make sense. And a lot of times, like I don't think America's paying attention to like why that looks crazy to a lot of people. I don't think they're paying attention to that, and I think they should in some sense. But I think this is the reason why I think they're doing this, and I think is because like in some sense, okay, here's the thing: a lot of people who feel a certain way about it, they have every right to feel a certain way about it. That makes sense to me. It would make sense, like if I was in a position too, also. But
right, I mean, you see where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I do definitely. I do. But the difference, like this, is what I'm thinking about. I'm like, okay, Okay, for example, like I'm gonna try to give another analogy of how I probably would react towards this. Okay, so there's people that feel bitter about it, then there's people who just like they're just getting the benefits from it. Okay, so imagine someone who's getting a scholarship because they Native American or something like that, or whatever, something, whatever, this and that. Why would I feel bitter towards them? I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't feel bitter because I know what they've been through. You know what I'm saying, or at least like the effects of what happens when you get treated a certain way. It trickles down. It's not just like, hey, they did this to the parents, and that's all. You shouldn't be affected by it because you're in 21st century or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you're here, so that's one of the most demonic type of reasonings ever. That's not even. That's not
it's
human.
more like great grandparents, and it is human because it's like,
it's
do you
by.
have
It's like too far away? Like I mean, went too far long ago when that stuff happened. Like even my grandma, she was in those days, like close to like slavery back in those days, and like my
she was probably
was
alive during like the 1960s.
Yeah, before that. No, my mom was in the 1960s. My grandma was way before that. So yeah, so mom was in 1962. What is 1962? And then
was born.
And then grandma was way before that, and that goes way back. That has to be way back there. And then my great grandma was in the slavery days, and so it's like, so.
Did you ever get to meet her? Your great grandmother?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, great grandma. Yeah.
Did she talk about it at all, or?
Oh no, I wasn't able to even. I didn't know. I had no knowledge about it. I wasn't old enough to even ask her. Just in the country, but no, we didn't have the knowledge at the time. It was, just didn't have the knowledge. I wish I would have knew to talk to her about it. But anyways, no, it's like that stuff is very close, and I think people, the more I feel like people are strategic with like this stuff. Some people are not, but I think the more you people push this back, they can say this is so far back, and this and that. I don't know.
I'm not convinced either that like giving people things, like you probably heard the saying before, give a man a fish and he eats for a day, teach a man to fish and he'll eat for the rest of his life. When people like welfare, for example, I'm coming down here in a second, I'm busy. Like welfare, for example, people get dependent on it and they never end up moving up that economic chain because they're relying on the daddy government to take care of them. So I'm not convinced that, if we gave every black person with slave ancestors and their family money in America, that money would be would change their life in any significant way. It might make their lives worse, especially if they.
That's a pessimist mindset, like by definition. But I get what you're saying. But I know what you're saying. There's pockets of people,
there's plenty of statistics to show that that's
right.
True.
That's what I'm saying. That's just natural. That's just a natural thing. Like you plant weeds among seeds. That's normally what would happen. You know what I mean? So it's like, so that's the effect of keeping people away from actually having positive growth. So one thing I was going to say this: reparations does not mean people giving us money all the time. That's not the main thing. We're in a constant state of trying to repair ourselves. In the first place, we try to do that for ourselves. So that's also something that we're doing by ourselves. So I'm even a part of this thing where it's where we're helping people from gun violence and all that type of stuff. I do rap, and I also like help with the urban community and stuff like that with all this type of stuff. We're trying to keep them away from that, then also repair. So
that's important. A lot of rappers just perpetuate the gun violence.
Right. And so, and it doesn't just come from just trying to be cool. It does. It is one of those. That's one of the byproducts of the poverty. It's wanting to be cool as if you got it, trying to manifest this and that. But anyways, let me get to the main points, the main core points. So let's see. A lot of African Americans are creative. They're creatives. They're just very creative. There's a lot of things that's been held back from them. When you don't have money, say if you had a lot of money, if you had a lot of money, whatever, or just from your heritage or whatever, you had a lot of money in your past, you would be open to resources. No matter how much college you had or not, it wouldn't matter because your lifestyle would be college because you was open to, because you know what I'm saying? Like you'd be
maybe in the past. I think college is kind of going the way of the dodo bird.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, so it doesn't matter if somebody, and that was another point I was going to say. probably because they're giving those people the access to be in the college because they like college doesn't really matter anyway. They'll go ahead and take the spot and take this and that, this whatever. So, anyways, but
Well,
back to
it's
the
just
point
because
about
they've
like,
gone woke. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like there's
right,
so many fake degrees. People aren't like
yeah.
African dance. What are you gonna do with that? Like that's a real degree you can get.
I mean, I don't know. People are creative with it, but I'm saying like a lot of these people, if they had this ability to, as far as like monetary wise, as African Americans, I can speak for a lot of them. They're just stunt, and not just only them. It's a lot of people. I know my wife friend, my homie J Rap, and even more. That, like my homie Chris, you know, if they had the money that they, you know what I'm saying, like earlier or whatever, they would have been done. I'm talking about, bro, big things. Like they very creative, and you know, so
That's true.
some
That's
people.
true for a lot of people of different ethnicities. And
Thank you.
and
Yeah,
I want to clarify one thing where it really pisses me off, where people
yeah,
assume that I have generational wealth because my ancestors had slaves or whatever. My dad was a poor, a little redneck from Pleasant Hill, Missouri, who had nothing, and everything that he has now he got from working his ass off, 10-hour days,
right,
60, 80 hours weeks, his whole life, and being consistent and
right,
working hard. There wasn't generational wealth. My grandfather was a trash truck driver in a small town. Like when my
yeah,
grandmother died, the house like paid off her debt. Like it didn't really get redistributed to everybody. Everything
yeah,
that he has, he's made for himself.
yeah.
And likewise, I work my ass off all the time, and I got to turn around. Like I wanted. Have you? Okay, so I want to bring this up where
Mm,
because you were talking about like trying to help the youth against gun violence, and there's this narrative with the Kansas City parade shooting
yeah.
that guns were the problem. um I don't know if you go to Kansas City very often,
Mm,
um but last year in 2023 was their worst year in homicides. They're the worst.
mm,
And I looked, they report the statistics. I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you this. This might shock you. It might not at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
But these are the police statistics here for victims and suspects of homicides. If you'll notice, the black males disproportionately represent victims and suspects, over half. So,
definitely. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be shocked at it. It's a reason why, because it's a
well, and that
okay.
shooting was like a black teenager.
So what?
That shooting that happened at the Kansas
Yeah,
City parade.
like I said, none of this is shocking to me. It's not like, hey, this is innate inside. It's not. It's like innate inside of you, or you
I think
just
it's a
bound to it.
cultural issue. I don't think
But
it's
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying to you. Like, that's why it's not shocking to me. Like a lot of this stuff. So here's the thing. All those answers of, I mean, those responses of like, take away the guns, taking this and that. These are byproducts of something, of the original issue, and also the thing that can actually help them out. These are the two things we need to tackle, not these byproducts that looks all shiny and for the news and all the reports and the numbers. That's like this. It's obvious.
well,
It's
why
all
won't
about
these
so yeah.
liberals talk about black on black crime?
Let's say it again.
Why won't liberals talk about black on black crime?
They can. They actually. I saw the people actually did. Actually, one of them I went to. They was actually talking about that at the square. Actually, they was talking about
Hmm.
black on black crime and said, "Hey, yo, we need to." This is like even black people mentioning this. Like, and it wasn't even that the liberals was actually resisting it. They actually said, "Yes, we here to listen." So they're not resisting it. They just it's a self realization. It's a human realization thing that because even the stuff that they're learning at Black Lives Matter, they learn it also for the future for themselves. They can also teach that to their own people. Stuff that they're learning by helping other people, they can help themselves with that knowledge too. So it's a self-discovery, not self-knowledge that they all had to recognize. So
Can
it's
we
not
agree
something that's
that
like,
the
yeah,
organization Black Lives Matter was a
I,
scam?
I, well, no, I think anything could be a scam. I think the whole earth has been scammed in some sense.
No, but the
Anything that's here,
organization, not
yeah,
like the
I know what you're
word.
saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. The sentiment, to me, I don't believe is the problem. I think that when humans pervert it, yes, and I think that's always possible. I'm not worried about what names are, what these this and that is. I'm worried about the spirit of what these things are standing for, not the organizations, because people are smart and they are shrewd and people are tempted to be evil, and no matter where it's at. So
Right.
that's not any shock to me. It's about keeping the spirit of something that's good alive. So, like, anyways, but like going back to the original. So what I'm saying, these two things we focus on is that the original problem. What was the original problem? It's not to give excuse. It's just to realize what can make a person do these type of things, and what can make their children do these type of things. We know in music. That's why I'm tackling music, because I know that's like one of the direct places where it's come from. Music is one of the biggest places that people are getting money from private prisons and different type of things, and they're telling them, hey, you do this and that. They expose this on the radio.
These record label executives
Yeah.
want their SoundCloud rappers to die after they make a
Yeah.
few hits, because
The
that's how you go
insurance, right?
platinum. That's
You
how you go
studied it,
platinum. Yeah.
Killed it, bro. And so
I
like
agree with that.
so that system, so addressing the like the spirit of the reparations type of thing, it's attacking all type of monsters and all type of holes. So when people resist certain things, we got to realize what we're actually resisting, because that's why the Bible says something like, it said we don't wrestle between flesh and blood, but principalities and people in higher places. So people in higher places, there's a systematical racism, systematical structures of taking over the world, and people mindset like us. So it's not just talking about spiritual stuff only. Spiritual stuff is included, but it's talking about people in higher places. So we know how they think now. I like how you think. The way that was this way. Yeah, I like the way you think, because
I know,
that's
confusing.
Right. And so we can't mock each other when we talk about woke, right? Like inverted. But we can't mock each other when it comes to being woke, because I see that a lot in like a conservative world. Oh, these people are woke, but then they are woke too, because they start peeping that, oh, this government is not really for us as we thought it was. They are top, like they are, but they're kind of not in some sense. You can see that crap. So we got to be able to
I think
unite
woke,
at the same time.
to me, woke is like believing in intersectionality instead of meritocracy. That's the way I see it. The way I see the world, meritocracy says that whoever is the most eligible for the job, who has the most training, it doesn't consider characteristics like sex or gender or sexuality. It only considers job experience. So we've thrown meritocracy out the window, and we've said, okay, we need X amount of women, we need X amount of black people, we need X amount of Mexicans, we need X amount, instead of just saying, oh, this person's trained the longest, let's put them in there. Because
that shows a lot, though. That shows a lot on their part. This exposes a lot by them doing that, because first of all, they already believe that a person has the ability to actually attain certain type of abilities by throwing people in there like that. Think about this. They also gathered people from all type of countries. Like as far as slavery, they got people that they didn't know any of their job experience. But what they did, I don't know how they trained them. They did whatever. And some of the people already knew what they were doing, because they were just knowledgeable. They just knew that they had a database of knowledge as a human. They knew that, but they want to tell the world that they don't have the knowledge. They're not educated enough to do it. That's the lie. But by them throwing them in there automatically, they already know that they can add more spice to it. They can add more uniqueness to it. So
that's the idea, is as diversity being our strength. But it just, it seems like different kinds of people want different kinds of jobs. Like when people are talking about equity in the workforce, they want more women and blacks in STEM fields, but they don't want more women and blacks in plumbing. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want to get minorities into positions of power. They're not worried about having more minority street sweepers or garbage men. Nobody talks about that. It's like, we need more women scientists. We need a black president. And it's not based off of merit. It's based off of genitals and pigmentation, which really annoys me.
Which makes sense, because that wouldn't be a thing. That wouldn't be a problem. That wouldn't be said if it wasn't a problem. I know what you're saying. That's the spirit of what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Well, maybe, my point kind of is like, maybe there's not women and a lot of like black people going into the field of STEM because they're not interested in it. Way are we trying to?
They
force
could be interested. See, and this is the problem.
I'm not interested in it as a white man. I'll say that right now.
But right, it's stereotypical. Like, but I'm saying to you, like, they're giving more. they're trying to paint them in a better light and also give them more hope and plant them in places where they can be at, just to give them hope and say, hey, look, we're not going to stereotype you anymore and say that you can't do that and that you're most likely not to go
Right,
this
but
way. They're going to actually give you a
that
chance to say, hey, look.
that prioritizes somebody's feeling of said position.
Can you say that again? It kind of skipped a little bit.
I get that could make somebody feel good about themselves getting into a position like that, but it undermines the position, especially if it's a position of authority or important, because you're just arbitrarily giving people positions to make them feel better about themselves. That's not how.
But who would take the job if they don't want to be interested in it?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. They would take the job if they were interested in
well,
it.
If there's a path of no resistance and they'll be fast tracked to a high paying job, I think a lot of people shrug their shoulders and go, I'll try it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, people do that all the time. I mean, like, I know a lot of my like white friends in the past, even my brother who's mixed, like his wife or whatever. It's not just because of race, but I'm saying sometimes it is like that, where it's like, hey, I've seen people drop jobs so quick. I mean, and nobody questions nothing. But you look professional. You look like my dad. You look very professional, and also when you showed up, you had knowledge, so nobody hardly questions it. Like I said, my homie Jay, whatever, he can get a job like just bam, he just gets it, top manager quick, because he put in work, right? That's good. Everybody can put in work, but I'm saying to you, like, so it's like, to get the, I don't know.
Sounds like he's qualified for a lot of managerial positions.
I mean, like, no, well, Jay, he did actually. He did.
His application probably reflects that when employers see it.
Yeah, when they see it, yep. But then you think, like, it's like, okay, well, is there anybody studying it? Anybody looking at the past and this and that? I ain't gonna say all this history, but I'm saying to you, it's just, are you really looking at that? Because if you you can look at you can look at the numbers or whatever. I'm pretty sure the studies out there of how a black person get turned down from a job, and I ain't even worried about that right now. I'm not worried about it, because that's not how my life goes and all like that. I have not been discriminated against at jobs and stuff like that.
Well, there's studies that show that, before the civil rights movement, the marriage rate of blacks was a lot higher than it is today currently. And the world's definitely less racist than it was in the 1960s. So, it appears that welfare destroyed the black family in the 1960s.
I think that was a big part of it, but I don't think it was the whole totality. Like I said, the music, I feel like, in a sense, I believe that welfare thing is where it started at. I don't think music started that.
Well, because they had to get the dad out of the home to get the government money.
Right, be qualified, right? Facts.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, okay, so there's always a trick behind something, almost. It seems like in America, especially the further it goes back, it's more of a trick. But even today, there's going to be more tricks. So how do we get that impurity out of America? And so that's why I think that impure spirit of like setting up systems like that is going to take both sides. It's going to take minority and majority to come together in different ways and look out for each other. I'm talking about like repair each other and educate each other instead of like opposing each other. And because like, this reparation thing it need to be assigned not just only to us. This is my mindset. I'm not like, to be honest with you, I'm not against reparations. I'm not and I'm not like saying that it just has to happen. But I'm saying to you, in my mindset, what I've seen, it should happen. But ultimately, this is what I think. I just think that people need to dig into their own history and be able to be repaired. And we need to find out what that looks like for everybody who's lost their identity and also been damaged, whether it's Italian, whether it's like whatever, Irish, whatever it is. We need to figure that out, because we don't even know who we, in a
there
sense,
were white indentured servants out in cotton fields and stuff.
Thank you, right? It's just like, I mean, like every person has been through, I mean, every ethnicity has been through this. If we all from one being, we all have been through this in some sense. It's just a fact. And but I think America need to get more mature and not stepping on each other when the other brother is going through their prodigal son situation or whatever, or if they was targeted. Some people go into a prodigal son situation, or it's not a prodigal son situation. It's just a unique thing by itself that somebody wanted to oppress those people, and now all of a sudden the residue is so nasty, and they keep doing repetitive things because they can't get the hand up because there's a system against them or this and that. But it ain't just only those black people. It is their own people. So like in America, so here's the thing. In America, these systems that are like the small percentage of the people who are leaders, they don't even like their own people. Like they don't even like their own people. Like they,
Al
like,
Sharpton and Ben Crump
yeah,
are
yeah,
exploiting the black community.
which they could be. Yeah,
110%.
I don't know. I bet it's evidence for it, and I think they're tempted to be more evil just as people that they learn from.
Well, and they're incentivized to push this racial grievance narrative because that's how they make their money at the end of the day. So they're self-proclaimed black leaders, and they're telling their message is, let's be pissed off. There's institutional racism. We're owed things. And then, anytime a black kid gets shot, they're knocking on the mother's door saying, let's go get that bag. And you see them standing by the parents of the victim's family, and even like with Michael Brown, like, I don't know what your opinion on Michael Brown was, but he was, reaching for the police officer's gun when he got shot. And the narrative was hands up, don't shoot. And that got spun as like, oh, this poor young black man. But you can watch the video of him robbing the Indian gas station clerk. And then he goes down the street. The cop tells him to stop, and he attacks the cop. He gets shot and killed. And they tried to turn that guy into a hero the same way that George Floyd eventually got canonized as a saint, even though he had a long rap sheet and was nobody that anybody should idolize.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think anytime I looked at any interview or any review of this situation, these black people was not belligerent enough to even say that he was justified in all the stuff that he did. Not that you couldn't find those type of people.
You mean George Floyd or Mike Brown?
Either one of you wouldn't find this. This is the thing. A lot of them, if you actually ask them the questions and this and that, whatever, do you think that this should be right, that he did this and that? They're gonna tell you no. They're gonna tell you no.
I am surprised.
And if it was their choice, they would have. If it was their choice, they would have whooped his butt or whatever, something to stop him from doing that. So like the action of what he's doing is already condemned by that community automatically. Even no matter what it is, like if it's a white community, whatever type of community it is.
You're telling me that, I mean, you interact with a lot more black people than I do, I'm sure.
Maybe, but, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I have black people in my family. My brother-in-law is black. My nephews are mixed. But freaking, I would be surprised if most black people believe, like knew that George Floyd was as big of a thug and a nuisance as he really was, because I thought the programming was so deep that the most of them thought that he like did nothing wrong.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, no. This is my thought towards humans. I don't think that humans are the best. I don't think that we are.
We're fallen for sure.
I'm just saying, like, this is what I learned, like, just from the God of the Bible, stuff like that, and then also my like mentors and stuff like that. They was like saying humans are going to fail you, and humans are. In the Bible said what it say. It said Bible says something like, "Let every man be a lie, and God be the truth." So like every human to me is dirty in some sense. The only reason why I see human as I can't say this now. I can't say this like as it is. I'm not pessimistic all the time. I'm not really like that. But I'm just saying to you, back in the past, I could see that why I don't really believe in humans no matter what ethnicity you are, because people are evil.
You can't trust the heart of man. I agree.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But in this flip side, I see the positive of everybody. So like no matter how evil you've done, I see hope in everybody. So like that's the difference between my mindset and a lot of these people who thinking this towards black people community. I'm thinking this way towards everybody. It ain't just black people. So here's the thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I hate the group.
You're pushing a narrative like as if, hey, look, these people were bad. Why don't we see them as bad? Why don't we just? Well, you should. That should be an automatic thing. If everybody's a criminal in some sense, everybody's sinners inside your head, then it wouldn't be a shock to you.
I agree. Let me speak generally for a moment too, because I think of what you're saying is true, and you have kind of an individual mindset where you don't see yourself as oppressed. As far as I know, it doesn't seem like it. And then I think a big problem with like the black community and the culture and the violence in the culture is group identification instead of individual thinking. you know, you could see that a lot of other places too. But you know, like the culture of gangs and oh, I don't have a choice. This is my family. That's my uncle. These are my friends. This is my neighborhood. I have to join a gang. That's what I'm going to do. You know,
it sounds way better saying that far away. Like I'm in Springfield, Missouri, so I feel very, very free saying that. Actually, I like when I came up here, it's easy to say. I'm gonna let you finish what you're saying, but I'm saying it's so. I remember leaving Kennett, coming up here, and I was so happy because the mindset of the bullying and stuff like that, whatever that gang type of crap, I felt so free from it. That
what is
doesn't mean
Kennett?
like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Kennett is in the Boot Hill, like in southeast Missouri. Yeah, southeast Missouri. Yeah, in by Pop Bluff, by Memphis, whatever. It dips into Arkansas. It's in Missouri, but that little part that dips in there, like a boot.
Oh, and it was like not. It was not ethnically diverse. It was mostly black people.
No, it was a mixture of both. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kennedy was, yeah. But yeah, anyways, but no, I mean, like, but a lot of these people, like, I was listening to what Tupac said, and like him, like he lived in a big city. I'm talking about New York City, one of the biggest. When it comes to this stuff, he was trying to tell people about what was happening. He said something about, oh, he mentioned about like the big apartments that they lived in, whatever, and he said they all stacked up on each other, and he said, and now.
That's like Section 8 types.
By Hayti, yeah. You say Hayti?
That's like Section 8, like that low-income housing units where they're stacked like that.
Yep. And that area, bro, I'm talking about like where I came from, bro, how the hood is, like, it's easy to comment from where we living at now, bro. We are at peace right now, bro. We living at peace. If you ever go to that place, go to those hood places, you'll see what they mean about like this gang stuff and whatever. You'll see why people are joining it, because there's some bullies that are out of their mind, bro. I'm talking about like you'll be just playing basketball. This is an actual story. I mean, you playing basketball and somebody just like hit you out of nowhere just because whatever, just trying to show off this and that. And this is bullying anywhere, but I'm saying this is like maximized in the hood a lot. So like a lot of that gang stuff, whatever, comes from somebody protecting. It's like your own militia or mafia, almost a little bit, trying to make sure that your people is protected, like the Italians.
Right.
It's not to justify gang. I don't want to justify it because I don't.
I think you're absolutely correct. That is the appeal of it, though, is protection and the brotherhood. And you know, I want to pull this comment up real quick. This is my producer. What are your thoughts on Black Lives Matter? We kind of got into that earlier. Leighton, me and Mike met each other at a Black Lives Matter protest. We were both evangelizing the gospel to people. So I don't know if that answers your question or if you want to add anything, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think about it is the sentiment is what matters. The spirit of what people are saying is what matters and what they're trying to stand for, than getting caught up in the twist of this, of people changing the narrative and stuff like that. So like to everything, this is my thoughts towards Black Lives Matter. To everything that's positive, there's always a negative, and somebody wanted to destroy what was meant to be positive and stuff like that. That's my thoughts towards Black Lives Matter, whatever. And I think about the what do you call it, the lost sheep or whatever, and I think about the prodigal son or whatever. I'm up in here, baby. You good? Okay, yeah, because I want you to enjoy your evening too. Meow. So I think. Oh yeah. So I think. Hold on. Let me turn this light on. Yeah. So the lost sheep or whatever. The lost sheep, and then the 99 sheep, and then the one lost sheep. And so that one right there, I was thinking about a parable. I thought about making a meme where it was like the dad saying, saying the lost son's life matter, and then all of a sudden the little brother saying, all lives matter. Shouldn't it all lives matter? You know what I mean? Like,
right. The story is the prodigal son comes home, and the brother is upset that the father is excited to receive his son because one of them was faithful and never left, and the father's excited to see the one that came back instead of celebrating the one that was always there. So that would be a good meme, I guess. I could totally see it. It makes sense.
That makes so much. I was just thought with that, yeah.
But We're gonna have to end this pretty soon. Let's do it again sometime because I think this is an interesting conversation, and I definitely we haven't gotten to like the root of this yet.
Yeah,
It's still
get to the heat of it. Yeah, because I don't. Can we one more question or something? Something where we get to the.
sure. Well, I'm trying to think because it's so weird to me because we agree on a lot of stuff, yet you're like, you're not. I don't feel like I could convince you to not be pro reparations, but like you kind of said earlier, it hardly makes a difference to you, but you're like an advocate of it. Like if the what would you do with the money?
Well, like with me, like many other people, we're stupid creative. Like it's like stuff that comes out of our head. It would help change America. Like it wouldn't even just be black people. It would not even because black people don't even like they're not even only trying to just focus on themselves. They focus on themselves because of damage, but they're not so much like, hey, look, we don't want to this and that. We don't want to help y'all out. No, they're not like that. So we're very creative. So what I would do with it, I would make like a organization where you can help out people to become musicians and help them recover from a lot of trauma and help them rewire their mind and get counseling.
You're making me think of the Black Lives Matter controversy because one of the founders got caught spending $1 million on her boyfriend's non-for-profit called Trap Hills LLC. Did you see that?
Never heard of that before. Yeah, trap. If you're talking about Trap Hill, I'll do Christian rap, so it's like, so it's gonna be probably a different motive. So me, I feel like it ain't. So I do like Christian rap. So in my mindset, I'm like, it's a lot of people that's tempted to twist stuff. Once like God, He selects certain people to do certain things, because they're not gonna waver. They're not gonna like change. They're just gonna do what He said. Some people are gonna go in, they're gonna be tempted, and they're gonna disappear because they got the money. Then it takes people that are like me and not as just exactly me, but just takes real people that actually like change that mug. I can't say that I'll be like him because I wasn't raised like probably him, whatever. I was raised up like how I am. The way that I am now, it ain't like some, hey, I'm just saying this because I'm being nice. Nigga, I'm talking about I was like, listen, I'm zealous for a reason. Like people know since I was in Kennett, I've been this way ever since I was little. It was no change in me. I've been on fire for God for a long time. Yeah, I slipped, but I'm on fire, bro. I don't play that. People know that. Anytime you find me, I'm gonna be talking about God or something deep like that.
That's been true since I've known you.
Yeah. So
what about what about like the African slave traders that sold the Africans? What do we do with that?
What do you do with that? So like there's certain things to where
doesn't that isn't that a testament to the fallenness of man and how we should all just like forgive each other and move on? Because we can't.
No.
If we're gonna hold the white man to account, don't we need to hold the African to account?
There's a spirit behind what you're saying. I see what your spirit is saying. So like, I feel like it was 90%, probably like 99%. It's another way to wash over everything that kind of happened, and then the other 1% is just to say, hey, look, let's be reasonable here. Let's be reasonable and let's just get over it. That's not being genuine. I think this. So like America, this is what I believe, bro. In a debating a spirit, if you want to go about, so bring some spice to it. And I think in the 50s, the people that used to sit outside with their rebel flags, which today is like Trump flag and they use the American flag to try to make it seem like America.
No. I disagree with that. If the American flag makes you think of racism, that's your own problem.
I'm not saying 100% of everybody that's holding the flag. I get that. If you talk, so there's percentage. Okay, so the American flag is not a racist symbol. I don't think it is. Personally, I don't think so. But I'm saying to you, there's certain like jokes that people do in mockery. Like, or not just, I'm not saying that they're using the flag as mockery, but people, it's not what you think it is sometimes in America. Sometimes they'll put all lives matter, but the main point is not that all lives matter. Anyways, getting back to the point, America has a tradition of mocking minorities. They for a certain party.
Do we?
Yeah, they do, and there's pictures of it. I wish I should show you the actual pictures of actually America of the people with the white shirts, whatever.
I will grant this, but dude, the KKK was started by Democrats. The KKK was started by Democrats.
They're both the same bird, bro. It's the same bird. So like at the same time, this is what I'm saying to you. So you pushing it off to the Democrats, but you can still carry the spirit of still the same brothers. They're still brothers and sisters. So like this is what's happening, bro. The left wing and the right wing are brothers and sisters. There's an outcast brother, that's the left wing, and then there's the traditional brother who does everything that's right and this and that. They're both brothers.
Well,
So
the
you push it off
outcast brother is in power right now.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying to you. So like when you
not
push it
much
off
of an
to one of them,
outcast.
they both was in bed with each other. They both were like they had the same doctrine. They have different ways to go about it. They're taking over the world. The older brother, which is the old conservative one, who used to mock Christianity. I mean, not mock Christianity, but they mocked the original Christianity by treating people the way they did. But anyway, back on the topic, they carried the same KKK spirit sentiment inside their own mindset in a different way, and they just had different. Now they have different ways to go about it in these days. So today it's the LGBTQ. That's their flag. Back then it used to be a little bit of the American, but also the Nazi flag. And then going back a little bit further, it was the rebel flag, the Confederate flag. Going further. So they all brothers and sisters. They just have, and so when I see people saying, "Hey, let's just get along because everybody, y'all did this to each other," we already know that. That's why we chastise ourselves. We have debates for our own self about this stuff to actually not to prevent that stuff. But I feel like on the, white American side, I feel like you need to be aware, almost like a woke person that's on the left wing side. The left wing side is aware of
This is gonna be a tough sell, dude.
I understand to you. I'm just saying it doesn't matter to me. I'm saying to you, truth. Just recognize truth in some sense. If I don't, if it's not true, then just check me on it and refine me on it, I guess. But I'm saying to you, be aware. Have the spirit of like a. The Bible says something about a Berean, right? You know what I'm saying? Like a Berean is a person that goes deep. They go deep into, like, they don't just take anything just by ear. So a lot of believers who are right wing, they need to go a little bit more deeper. They don't need to just be like, I don't know, I'm just rambling a lot, but it's like they need to go deeper, just like the left wing is kind of going deeper in a little way. Not exactly like them, because they're a little far off, like, far thinking. They're far off with their ideology from the conservative. The conservative and the black person has more similarities than the left wing. But the problem is that the right wing has taken on a spirit to kick the minority out of the way.
I don't think that's right. That's what the Democrats want you to think, man. That's that groupthink shit we were talking about earlier.
Did you hear what I said?
The minorities and black people have more in common than people on the right. Like, there's tons of prominent black conservatives.
No. I said right wing people, which is like a majority of the white people on the conservative side are more similar to the minorities. Mexicans, black people, they're very similar to the white conservatives. But the problem is that those minorities knocked on the door of the conservative whites, and they couldn't stand them because they have the doctrine of the ancestors. Some of them do, not all of them, but those people who carry these racist, systematical type of thoughts or whatever prejudices, they knock on the door. The minority does, boom, 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 and then they tell them, no, hey, go over there. No, we don't want that drama over here. Go over there. And then what do you know? Who opens the door is the emo left wing brother and sister.
Well, I think the left wing promises free shit to black people, and that's how they get so many black people to be Democrats. And people on the right, we're not for welfare. We're not for handouts. We're for, put on your work boots and go make your money. Go live your American dream. There's no red tape blocking anybody now, except maybe white people, in my opinion, because there's a lot of anti-white racism institutionally. The vice president of the United States is not qualified to do hardly anything, let alone be the vice president. She's only there because she's got a vagina and pigmentation, So we're going to have to end this debate, Michael. I got to go eat dinner before jiu-jitsu. I'll let you get a final word in if you got any of your stuff you want to promote.
Yeah, I was going to say this. As far as so now that a lot of minorities are getting the place that they was trying to get in at or whatever, to try at least make a difference and be more creative in these stuck places and systematical crap. That's why I think it's vital for a lot of conservatives to actually gain back their brotherhood and sisterhood with a lot of these minorities and stop hiding off and stop being these, like some of the, not all of the ancestors, but some of the racist part of the
This is
ancestors.
something I wanted to say too. Okay, I lost this when I was trying to explain before, but
Okay.
there's a video of this. I don't know if you saw it. It was from like a couple months ago, but there's this white leftist activist walking in like Chicago or something late at night with his girlfriend, and there's like a crackhead black guy freaking out,
Yeah.
smashing cars and stuff. And instead of turning around and going the other way or crossing the street, because this guy is a leftist, he has to believe that he can't believe his own eyes. Black people aren't violent. Black crackheads won't kill you. So he approaches the guy and the guy fucking stabs him and kills him. You know, where I think a lot of, you know, if conservatives seem kind of reserved towards the black community, it's because of stuff like those crime stats I just pulled up, man. You know, it's like we believe what we see with our own eyes, and we're not willing to like pretend that that you know that there isn't a crime issue with the black community. I think any conservative would take in any, like, we would be happy to have more voters no matter how people look. But I think
it's just like a minority though. It just looks weird though. It looks just like a colonizer would actually set it up to be. I was watching colonization just a second ago on the videos about like South Africa and also Rwanda genocide, how they did that, and they pent up black people against each other and trying to say this black person better than the other black person, and then they went to war and they killed each other because they gave more resources to to the minority of people, and then they plotted and they end up fighting against each other. So this is my mindset. So like that type of mindset is kind of over with me and my mindset now, because I know that does not work. I know that's part of the colonist mindset, and some of us, we don't even know that it's actually what they plan to do in those small rooms and small powers, that's their goal, is to divide and conquer. So that's what comes with it. When you're saying that, you don't know exactly that's what comes with it. That, hey, look, choose the minority of people, few black people, they're good, few black people, bro. The reason why that even exists is because the system that already set up and already discriminated against the majority of these people, and not only a few, just by numbers and probability, that the few is going to get out and be good. That's just a probability thing that's just going to happen. And so now they got us thinking there's only few good black people. No, it's few good black people in those areas, because that few can get out of those type of situations. The situation is what causes it. Reparations is the thing to help repair it, and that's going to take other things, and that's going to take. So the repairing is happening right now, regardless of what we're thinking about. God is going to do his reparations, and the world is going to recognize it too. Also, the problem is that the Christian right wing people, there are good people on that side. They're going to need a lot of people to actually get their nuts back again, their spiritual nuts back, to actually know what to do and stop being lazy and stop pulling this old card trick, this old Confederate, and conserve all this stuff. That bullcrap is going to die. God is going to destroy this freaking United States.
I don't think
y'all didn't.
Confederate and like, what are we conserving if not Christianity? You know, the left
they're
wants
not
to
conservative.
destroy it.
The original Christianity was not even in an attitude of this Western Christianity. This Western Christianity is a Western version of what Christianity was, and it is also is perverting the name of who Jesus was in the first place. We need to take back the positives of what they've done, and stay with those, and get rid of the negative that what they've done. They're not acknowledging that, because they're denying the criticism. They're denying the ability to be refined. And so when you deny that ability to be refined, you become impure. And so a lot of people in that category that I'm telling you about, and like that you're in, and that I'm into also, because I'm also with that too. So like they need to actually get off their nuts and stop playing around, stop playing this old school Christianity stuff, and figure out what to do. It kind of looks like the left wing, not exactly. It's instead it's with Jesus, the Jesus who's not white supremacy Christianity, and he doesn't go along to try to do it for only his country. He does it for the kingdom of heaven that's supposed to be coming, not because just only the West. It's going to take some deeper things, some real, sacrificing times. Kind of like how you did when you went to Black Lives Matter, but not exactly, but like with more of like the original Jesus in it. You know what I mean? Like
I was more in I was a little bit more open to that plight at that time before I learned more information. But I was there to evangelize. You know, I catch shade for being critical of like the black community or homeless people or welfare recipients, but it's not because I want to be mean. I just don't see very many people talking about these issues. And if we don't address these issues and try to figure out different solutions, it's not going to bode well for our country. You know what I mean? And it's not country above God. God comes before country, but it's like, this is where I was born. If I don't have America, I don't have a place to live. America's the one that takes in other people. There's not other countries clamoring to take in people who need refuge from America. You know,
I mean, a lot of people probably would but the reason why they would not is because the attitude that we took, like say if you went over there and now all of a sudden, they find out, okay, well, you were against these people. It's not going to go well for anybody. That's just like any biblical story where somebody was exiled to some other place because something blew up or whatever. They went off to this and that place. Those people got executed because of their beliefs, how evil they were in the other land. And so like that's how God he did that in the Old Testament to a lot of people. Daniel wasn't some kind of bigot. He was not even, you know what I mean? He wasn't like, and I'm not even calling you that because like I don't take that lightly saying that to you because like
Daniel was intolerant to witchcraft. He was very intolerant to a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't think he was intolerant because it doesn't tell it.
Well, he clearly was because he condemned it as evil.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that you're being intolerant expressively. Expressively, like if you're externally intolerant, that means that you're like, you're very out front about it. You're like, hey, and that's okay. That there's a time for everything. But he was against it, but that doesn't mean that he was trying to like be on the doom side of these people and trying to vocalize it and express it. He had a
competition to see whose God was real.
Yeah, but it's not the same attitude. So you're taking a more aggressive type of attitude. His mindset was not that way. You look at Daniel; he was not that way. He was a person who was shrewd and intelligent, not so boisterous. And it's okay.
What about when he mocked their God and said, "Where's your God? Is he taking a shit?"
That wasn't him.
Daniel?
That wasn't Daniel.
Was it Elijah that I'm thinking of?
Yeah, some whole different situation.
Okay,
right?
It was Elijah. Yeah,
right.
You know.
And then how did Elijah die?
I don't remember.
I don't even think he died. I think
he ascended in chariot of fire. Right. Yeah.
So, but his son got what? Something happened to him, and he got thrown inside of a
dude,
body, something like that.
You keep reeling me back in. I got to eat dinner and go to jiu-jitsu, buddy.
Why don't you have these good discussions and quench the spirit right? Like,
well, let's do it again sometime. You're welcome on the show whenever. Everybody go check out Young Zealous. Go like his Facebook page. We appreciate him coming on here. Not a lot of people are willing to have these conversations. So thank you, Michael. Let's do it again sometime.
You too, King. Thank you, buddy, for the invite. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
You too.